Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 37 of the Patriots podcast, live streaming every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. right here from the America First Warehouse.
Oh, this
Feels-
is going to be a heavy.
Feels
heavy,
heavy
right?
tonight, yeah.
So bear with us, folks, because as you know, our podcast is on Tuesdays. The news came in on Wednesday for Charlie Kirk, so we're feeling it still. It's heavy.
Yeah.
We are.
Heavy,
Some of you may have tuned in to, we had over the weekend on Friday night, we had a vigil at the America First Warehouse honoring the life of Charlie Kirk. So we did get to speak with the audience and discuss everything that went on. And we're going to touch on a lot of the same things that we talked about on Friday, but we're also going to talk about things that we didn't get to touch on.
Such a
It was good to be with
Tragedy.
like-minded people. Everyone's hearts were very heavy. They still are. And
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know about you guys. I guess I'm going through that grief stage because I was extremely upset all weekend, cried my eyes out at church. I mean, like unconsolably. And then now I'm angry.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what we were saying, right? Because
The anger's-
Friday
Stages
night,
of grief.
I
yeah.
couldn't even I couldn't even get myself together.
and I was angry last week.
Yeah. So we're in that grieving stage where we're sad one minute, we're
Yeah.
angry another minute.
And you can flip flop from one to the other
Yep.
and back again.
I mean, we're females. That happens anyway. But it's exacerbated right
But
now.
I'm going to be honest, I always thought, when someone passed that, like, you didn't really know, like, yes, we had the honor of meeting Charlie once. But when someone passes that you don't really know and people would get upset, I never really understood that.
Same.
And this one,
It was different.
yeah.
this one was really different. I don't know how or when I'm going to get over this one.
This hit hard. It hit differently than other things in the past, and it was the first time it felt like a 9/11 moment,
Yeah.
where the whole world is
Stopped.
watching
It
and
just
everything
stopped, right?
stopped, and you don't know how to reconcile it.
No.
And I think you get caught in this disbelief and how can this be, and then you have to try to work through all of your feelings surrounding it and what it means for you personally, what it means for our movement, and what it means for our nation and world.
Yeah.
It was such a trauma. It was like a real
It was a trauma.
to everyone
And
to witness it live like that.
It was an assassination,
Yeah.
live execution, you could call it,
Yeah.
live on
Yes.
TV. But I think for me anyway, the basis of knowing that it really was to me a direct attack on our children. They took the voice. This guy was. Listen. Even my son's friends in college who are not conservative, they still followed him. He still captivated kids on the left because he was just so great at what he did.
Yeah.
So children, it was like, how dare you, like you said the other night, take that away from our children? Like,
Well, he
haven't
had
you
so
taken
much
enough
more
from
to
our children?
give.
Yeah.
And he had so much more to
He's
give.
31 years old. He had so many years left in him.
He would have
But
been president.
As
He
faithful as we all
definitely-
are, we know that God uses people for a specific way. And the magnitude of what's happening now in the aftermath of his death is, I hope he's just shining down proudly and smiling and seeing that this legacy is now like so much more powerful. It's hard, but it is hard to reconcile.
Yeah.
It is.
So, as I stated before, most of us up here, with the exception of
Yeah, I
Angie,
wasn't there.
unfortunately, we got to meet Charlie. It wasn't even 2 months ago. Donna graciously invited us to an event that her friend from California organized.
Amy Bond, she founder of PERC, a parental education rights organization in California, and they're making big waves out there and looking to go national. So it was an honor for us to be there.
Such
But,
an honor.
Charlie was the headliner, the headline speaker, and he
and
did
what a
not
speech.
disappoint.
Right?
What a speech. We do have some pictures that we would like to share with the audience. It's 1 through 5B. Oh,
Yep, they're up.
Yeah,
He's on it.
They're up, moving through them.
And I was so thankful that I was able to tell Charlie myself what an inspiration he was to me.
yeah.
I'll never forget that moment for as long as I live. And I'm so thankful for it.
I almost bagged out and didn't go that night.
did, because
You
you were far
remember that?
away. Yeah,
I
you
was
were-
really far. We were out in West Hampton for a special weekend family, and that was my son you saw, my middle son that you saw with us in the picture. And he said to me when I called him and said, "Hey, what do you think?" And he said, "Mom, I understand. You're far. You're having a nice weekend. If you'd rather wait, there'll always be another time."
Yeah. Wow.
And I hung up the phone with him, and something just in my gut, everything changed. And I said, "No, you take the moment now.
Yeah.
Now, the moment's in front of you now. Like, just take it."
And thank
So
God
I
you
called him
did.
back, and he goes, "Thank God, because there wasn't going to be another
Mm-hmm.
time, Mom." And, who knew? But
Wow.
I did share on Friday night, and I want to share it again just because obviously I don't have any great personal relationship with Charlie Kirk. I don't want to pretend that I do. It was the one and only time that we met him. But in that VIP room, when it was less people and more intimate, I had shared on Friday, I am somebody, I'm very forward, but when it comes to, I'm not starstruck by anybody. I don't rush into situations where there are famous people or a spotlight. It's not my way, unless I really have something important and pressing that I think I need to say. And I didn't feel that. I was enjoying just watching and didn't feel like I wanted to press in to get a picture with him or anything like that. And I think Christian did, but it didn't matter so much to me. I just was happy to be there. And at the end, when the handlers were saying to him, like, "It's time to wrap up, let's move out," he saw us across the room, and he pointed to me and he said, "Do you want a picture?" Like, he noticed.
love that.
Wow.
He noticed, and he called us over, and it gave Christian an opportunity to say some things that he wanted to say, like you, Shannon,
Yep.
to Charlie. And I just think that's such a great testimony
So
or
great.
testament to
Of
like
who
Who he was.
his
Yeah.
character
Yeah.
and just the smallest of things.
I shared this on social media last week when he passed because, we spent the whole evening with him. We were all in a ballroom with him having dinner.
But fairly
and there
intimate
was
at the setting
Yeah.
at the same
very
time.
intimate. I
you
mean,
know.
he was only a few feet away from us all night. And,
Yep.
and it was nice. Nobody bothered him while he was eating, Everyone let him
Wait,
do
do you
his
mean
thing.
Patriots have class? And
Yeah.
we're all enjoying class at a venue?
And
I
respect.
mean, amazing.
Imagine.
But there was a moment where I went to the ladies' room and I was walking back in, and Charlie, as I was walking in, was walking out, and he held the door for me, and he just gave me this adorable smile that I'll never get it out of my head. And all he said was "hello" again, and it was just like, wow, like
So personable.
it was, like he made me feel special.
Yeah.
It's just a
He
special
remembered
moment.
seeing you.
Yeah, hello again.
Which that's all people really want a lot of the time, is just to be recognized.
And be seen.
His
seen.
turning point staff, I've been hearing them talking about, the way that he was with them. He remembers people. He remembered people that were there and had left, and he touched everybody in that organization. Everybody.
Well, he's
My
got a
heart goes out to
brilliant
them.
mind. He had
Brilliant.
and
Yeah.
I mean, just to listen to him debate and the things that he could pull forward. I
Yeah.
mean, granted, young, and
Yeah,
I
mine
don't
is
have the
younger,
memory
yes.
in the mind that I had when I was in my 20s and 30s. But I mean, just a brilliant mind, and yes, a very sharp memory for sure for facts and clearly
Oh.
people.
Theology and biblically and scripture and
He was brilliant.
constitutionally. I mean, I've always listened to his videos, but now I guess the algorithm, it's everything you scroll. And I find myself the last few nights just hooked on watching reel
Me
after
too.
reel after
Yeah.
reel. I
Me
can't get
too.
enough,
Yep.
even if
Me
it's the
too.
same one I saw yesterday. I'm mesmerized now, and I hope all the youth and young adults are too, because
And
Is
it's
it-
helpful to do that because it helps
Cathartic.
It helps you get through the grief. It's very helpful. I do the same thing.
I wish I could have shared the entire video of his speech that night because it was a great speech. I think it
epic.
was 30 minutes long, so we can't do that.
Yeah.
But I did give the control room a clip of the video, so if we could pull up cut
Let me
6.
close on something that you guys said before, which is we have a lot of different religions in this room. We have some people that may not be that religious. But let me tell you that you should be cheering for America to become more religious. And it is. Young men are going back to church and recognize because even if you are not religious, you do not want to go the way of Europe. When Europe stopped believing in God, they started believing in anything. And then they started importing the third world. The types of people that believe men can give birth are not the religious. The people that are trying to force the 8th booster shot on your kid, I guarantee you, if you did a study, what percentage of people that try to force the 8th booster shot on your kid regularly attend church? It'll be a very low number. There is a direct, zero. There is a direct correlation between those that take their faith seriously, whether it be Judaism, whether it be Christianity, and those that want to control your life and insert themselves into your private dealings. If we have strong families, then you can make sure government does not become tyrannical. The bigger the government, the smaller the citizen, as Dennis Prager, my great friend, would say. And so America right now, the thing that gives me the most hope is the fact that the last 20 years church attendance rates were going down. But all of a sudden, the young men of Gen Z, they've started to just minorly go up again. And that is a great prerequisite that we can fight for freedom and remain free. Because a society that does not believe in God will no longer be free.
Yeah, that was a privilege.
It was a privilege.
It was a privilege for sure. I know, Shan, you had shared this on Friday night, the Chad Prather. I don't
Yeah.
think we have enough time
We don't
to
have
read it
enough
right
time
now,
for
but
this,
I'll do it when we come
segment,
back.
but
When
When
we
we come
come-
back from commercial, we'll
Yeah.
definitely want Angie to read that.
Yeah.
I will. It touched me. It really did.
I think it'll touch a lot of souls out there, but we do have to cut to a commercial break, but we have a lot more to share with you when we return, so stay tuned.
See you.
Who broke the television? Can we laugh at that? Sounds like me.
As of this week, public gay sex will now be mandatory.
Am I the only one that could see his lips move?
Cheekbones, baby.
I'm sorry, maybe I overreacted.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Hey, fellow Patriots, it's Cindy Gross here, host of Right for America from your favorite place, the America First Warehouse. You've seen me show on my show so many products from this country's #1 most patriotic manufacturer with close to 400 products. You need to exchange the products you use in your house to this company and make your dollars count in our country.
Freddie Rubino here at the America First Warehouse. I'm inviting you to the live taping of the Not So Newlywed Show. Just click on the QR code right above my shoulder and you can get tickets. Live taping of the Not So Newlywed Show. Drinks, snacks, it's a great time. We'll see you there October 18th.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the Patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Welcome back to the Patriots podcast, everyone. Before we went to commercial, we were talking about grief and how everyone deals with grief and how everyone is trying to deal with this kind of grief that, most of us, except for maybe people that lived through the 60s with JFK,
Yeah, with JFK.
haven't
Yeah.
experienced. And Angie stumbled upon a post from
Chad
Prather,
Yeah.
and she shared that with us the other day, and I think it's good to
Oh, yeah.
share it with the audience.
Great.
So,
Yeah.
Angie,
I'm
if
going
you
to read
wanna
it for you.
that.
It's cut 7 to 9. You can follow along. Okay, so Chad Prather, good morning. The reason you feel Charlie's death so deeply is because grief doesn't measure itself by proximity. It measures itself by meaning. You didn't have to know him personally to feel the sting of his absence, because when a voice like his goes silent, something in the atmosphere shifts. The reason it feels heavier than so many other tragedies is because your spirit recognizes that this is not just about a man, it's about a battle. Scripture says eternity is written on our hearts, and when someone who carried truth with boldness is suddenly gone, eternity aches within us. It's like our souls know instinctively that the darkness celebrated, and that strikes us at the core. The reason you can't shake it is because psychologically, we don't only attach ourselves to people, we attach ourselves to symbols. Charlie became a symbol of conviction in a time of compromise, courage in a time of fear. And when a symbol is struck down, it rattles something primal and eternal inside of us. That's why even those who never met him feel it. There's a strange thread pulling at us, and it is not imagined. It is real. We are bound together by a shared purpose, by shared longing for truth, by the Spirit of God himself weaving us into fabric that cannot be torn apart. This loss pulled at that fabric, and every one of us felt the tug. So if you've wondered why this hits so hard, it's because your soul knows. This is bigger than news. This is bigger than politics. This is about eternity, about truth, and about the weight of a man whose life carried both.
I can't tell you that
I have the
is
chills.
probably the most impactful and kind of sums it all up so
Agreed.
well thing that I've seen
Yeah.
right anywhere posted.
We're all connected through Christ.
I was just going to say that there's something deeper there too, that thread of us all sharing
Yeah.
our
Yes.
faith and his
Yeah.
faith and having that connection as well, because we're all God's children. If we live in that light, all his children are hurting right now when they took one of his children.
Yeah.
Well, I remember in COVID, and I've shared this before, I had the vision of the puzzle. Someone else told me they had a vision of, sorry to back up, but with the puzzle, like all the pieces, God putting all the pieces of the puzzle together in this time. And someone else had described it as a quilt, and all the pieces of the quilt being woven together. And in life, people always say, like, God weaves the tapestry.
Yeah.
And that's it. We are all woven together. We
That's the
are all
truth.
connected in
It's
in
humanity.
his family. Yes.
It's humanity.
Which is why it's so hard to watch some people, the response.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just, but it shows a lot, right, of the character. It feels also to me, as a patriot activist, it's like kind of how I felt when Ashley Babbitt. It's like you took one of our like leaders, it's such it could be any of us.
Yeah.
It could be any of us at
Yeah.
all times, like Angie said the other night too. When Trump said they're not just coming after me,
That's
they're
right.
coming after you.
Yeah.
They tried to kill our president. They took out Charlie Kirk. They killed Ashley Babbitt, Roseanne. But
Yeah.
it
Who's
stings
next?
deeper.
Who-
It's like, but these are our people. These are
Yeah.
the people, and these are our patriot heroes at this time right now that have gotten through this battle with us the last 5 years.
Well-
I took it very personally.
We're in a battle.
It's a
We're in
battle.
a spiritual battle right
The
now.
reason they tried to silence Charlie's voice is because Charlie was so effective at what he did.
Yes.
Yes.
So
On both
effective.
sides of the aisle.
And I think we'll get into that in the next segment and
Tie it all together.
and tie it all together. But I did want to share with the audience a story that I shared with you guys.
Yeah.
I shared this with you guys years ago, right?
What a story.
And I shared this with the audience on Friday night. But let me just think where to begin. So I was saying how Charlie was such an inspiration to me, and I just want to give you some background on that. In 2021, I do freelance production work, so I was working on, I got to work on a piece for a man by the name of Forster Fries, who had passed away. And at the time, I had no idea who he was. And, in production, you have to go through all these videos and learn about the person and clip videos. And so I was going through all these videos, and it happened to be that Charlie Kirk was in a majority of these videos because he was at Forster's wake and funeral services. And I learned at the time that in 2012, when Charlie was 18 years old, he had met Foster Friess. Foster Friess, let me back up a little bit. He was an American investor and a billionaire. He was also the biggest donor to the Republican Party. And in 2012, I believe it was at the Tampa RNC, Charlie met Foster in a stairwell. And he gave him a pitch about his ideas. And Foster was so impressed with Charlie that 2 weeks later, Foster sent Charlie $10,000, and that's how Charlie was able to really start Turning Point.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful story because Foster Friess was Charlie's mentor. And even in his eulogy, I read that to you guys too, little pieces of
Beautiful.
that. The things that he said was basically everything that you could say the same things for Charlie,
Yeah.
right? He actually used this word, and I looked it up because I didn't know, I'd never heard this word before, so forgive me. A magnanimous person,
I looked that up too.
Magnanimous. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I looked it up because I didn't know. And when I looked it up, I actually threw it in here. It says, a magnanimous person embodies a high degree of virtue, moral strength, and compassion, enriching the lives of others and enhancing their own character. And if that does not describe Charlie to a T, I don't know what better word describes him.
Yeah.
But just to go back to Foster Friess, when Charlie died last week, his Lynn, Foster's wife, put out a post and on social media, and it says Erica's power. Did the control room cue it
bring
up?
Yeah, 11.
Cut 11.
Cut 11, guys. Erica and the entire Kirk family are in our prayers. I still remember the day when Foster first encountered Charlie at 18 and told me about the wise young man who wanted to save America. Foster was excited to write a check to help start Turning Point. Foster knew then that Charlie would move the culture and change history, and he did. He's gone to be with the Lord. We are devastated by this news.
Wow.
And
Oh, you want
the
to?
other day, a few days later,
Yeah.
Lynn put out another post. And if we could pull up cut 12.
In the biblical sense,
Nope,
we've been
not
set
wrong
free
one,
to-
guys.
There you go.
Erica's powerful and heartfelt address deeply moved me. Forster always believed in Charlie's vision and often said that helping Charlie build Turning Point USA was the best investment he ever made. I know he would be grateful to see how Charlie's legacy is inspiring young Americans to stand up for faith and freedom. That's why, in loving memory of Charlie, I'm donating $1 million to support the thousands of new TPUSA chapters springing up across the country. I invite you to join in honoring Charlie by helping this incredible movement grow even stronger.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's the kind of
Got
friendship
chills.
that they had. You know,
beautiful.
and Charlie would tell people that Foster was his mentor. And the control room's going to yell at me because I kind of messed that up. There is a video I do want to share so everyone can get an idea of who Foster was. It is
in the
cut
biblical
10.
sense, we've been set free to serve. And so let's go out and do that. I love the exhortation that we get by reading the Bible. It says we are designed to be a channel of God's love to others, to be his hands and feet in a hurting world, and to be a blessing to every person he puts in the path. And the joy that's come from knowing that mission, rather than saying, hey, I got to make another million, it just created a whole sense of joy of feeling I'm in step with what God would have me be. Why would anyone want to be a socialist to have all this free stuff when if you have an economy that you can earn your way? Envy used to be sin. Now it's embedded in the very fabric of our government where people are entitled to everything. And you're not going to be limited to what you can buy. You look at welfare. Well, welfare, you can't make $100,000 a year in welfare. But if you go out and work hard and get a job, you can become a Foster Friess. And I'd love to have you join the family. Don't take the bait, kids. Socialism sucks. Don't take the bait. So this guy, Charlie Kirk, sees me in a stairwell wearing my deerskin jacket, and he tells me what he wants to do. I said, well, this guy's 18 years old and he has this vision of what he wants to do. I like this guy. And if you look what Charlie and not only him, but the people he's surrounded himself with, I mean, they're eager, they're excited, they're people that want to give and want to prosper and want to succeed. Well, what Turning Point means to me is these young people love America. We're people on the left. I don't think they really think about all this investment that soldiers and died and sailors that died and all these people that made our country what it is. But the Turning people, they get it. And I think the more we can encourage them and help them educate their fellow students, these people on the left, they're not necessarily stupid or evil. They're just very, very badly informed. Freedom, integrity, honesty, hard work. This is what Turning Point means to me. That means a great deal to me, that these people are willing now to fight the good fight. And we're going to back old Turning Point right to the hill.
That's a good old boy right there.
Yeah, it is.
That's an American patriot cowboy, good old
him.
boy, faithful.
And it gives me comfort knowing that Charlie and Foster are together
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that gives
And God
me
bless his wife for honoring her husband like that and
Yes.
understanding the magnitude of what that donation could bring, because I'm sure we'll get into it.
They're a beautiful family. They are. The
You could
entire
tell.
family.
You could
is
see it. He's
beautiful.
Good begets good.
Yeah, it does.
So we do have to cut to a commercial break, but we will be back in a few minutes. So stay tuned with us, guys.
Thank you for tuning in.
Corrupt judges, broken families, families torn apart. This isn't justice. If you've been wronged by the system, join us. Don't stand alone. Hi, I'm Gary Jacobs, president of Americans for Legal Reform. We're the oldest legal reform group in the United States. The justice system in the United States should be transparent, fair, and open to everybody and accessible. Unfortunately, many times that's not the case. At Americans for Legal Reform, we are here to help. Join the movement. Visit AmericansForLegalReform.com and help reform the system before it fails you.
Hi, my name is Elena Ruseva, aka Megalangela. Please check my art at www.megalangela.vip.
The America First Warehouse Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. Most patriotic, America First retail store. The America First Warehouse Ultra MAGA Store.
The Queens Village Republican Club is America's oldest Republican club, founded in 1875. Situated in President Trump's hometown in Queens, New York, we are America First MAGA Republicans, empowering fellow Republicans to get involved in the game of politics at the grassroots level. We host inspiring monthly club meetings on the first Thursday of each month at 8 p.m. For more information, please go to our website at www.qvgop.org.
It's Tuesday here at the America First Warehouse. I am Joe the Box.
And I'm John the Blanket.
Freddie Rubino here with my podcast. That's what I'm talking about. Coming to you live from the most patriotic venue in the land.
Welcome to Right for America.
I'm James Justice. We got Stephen Ruth over here. What are we doing, Steve? Fighting!
Welcome to Tune In Tuesday of the Patriots podcast, live streaming every Tuesday night at 7:30.
Another edition of On the Right Side here, and you can catch us weekly Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
And welcome to Liberty's Cage, where we rip the veil off America's broken justice system. Prisons that crush spirits and a society that shuns people who have paid their price.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
Welcome to Suffocating in Suburbia with me, your host, Stevie GB.
Oh.
The America.
We're back.
Welcome back to the Patriots podcast. So I do want to say that Charlie did not die in vain, right?
No.
Because
No.
as horrific as this has been, there are so many wonderful things happening right now that, you know, we don't know God's plan. And this could have been God's plan all along.
think it was.
I don't believe
Yeah.
it's God's plan for a lunatic to go in and kill someone the way he was executed on live TV. But I do believe that God had an intended plan for Charlie's life.
Well, yeah, and like, listen, our God that we serve is so great. He recognizes evil, and he uses what is meant for evil and for bad for our good and the glory of his kingdom. Like
sure
that.
does.
That's biblical truth
Yep.
right there,
Yeah.
and that is what we are seeing in live time.
Yep.
And every time the left does something like this, I don't know why they haven't learned yet. It only unites the party more. It
Makes us
only makes
stronger.
the MAGA movement stronger. It only reignites the fire.
Yep.
You know,
It's not just MAGA in this case. It's
well, it's everybody.
It's
but
hu-
I
it's
mean,
you know,
if you're
you-
trying to hurt us by doing this, you didn't. You're not succeeding. There's a global. I think it's global.
It is global.
It is.
Global. It's amazing to see what's unfolding out of this. I'm so proud to know that there's still a lot of hearts that are good and are. This is just going to strengthen what we've been fighting for these last 5 years specifically.
There have been vigils that have been Australia,
All over the world.
England.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just like everywhere.
Popping up all
Everywhere.
over the world.
And a lot
it's
of parents
incredible.
are saying that they didn't even realize the impact it had on their children. Like they knew their children knew of him.
Yeah.
They might have watched his reels, but there's like a lot of grieving young adults right now and young. Kevin Downey talked about a party he was at on Saturday. He was wearing the jacket he had on Friday, and a mom came up to him and said, "I love your jacket. Can you come talk to my daughters?" One was like 11, one was 13. And the 11-year-old was a mess. She was so upset, you know, and I'm thinking 11, wow, he's reaching kids younger than we even imagined. And that's even more powerful.
Yes.
So you're capturing the heart of an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
And on Friday, T had brought up that I want to say it was the next day.
No, well, the day I found
day
out
of?
the next day from the Turning Point reps, but Go
ahead. No, you.
the day he passed away, the day he was killed, 5,000 young adults joined the TPUSA movement, and I thought that was amazing. But it's only gotten more amazing since then.
Yeah.
So I was grateful to hear that, and we do work with the local Turning Point reps, the tri-state rep, and then the local county ones who are becoming dear friends of ours, and I hope to do a lot more work together now. And Turning Point USA now has had in the upwards of 37,000 inquiries of new chapters. That's
Amazing.
more than colleges and high schools combined in this country. So there's multiple
Yeah,
requests.
and I think they had 900 colleges and 1,200. I might have it back at 1,200 high schools. That was it. Like he was hoping to get to like 15,000.
Oh, he only
you know.
wanted to
I saw
get-
his
yeah.
video,
Yeah.
and they said that he had joked, and he said, "I want to reach." I think it was
35,000,
something like
I think it was.
35,000
Yeah.
schools.
Oh,
and
he's gonna be
high
blowing
schools.
past
And his best
that
friend-
now.
His best friend said, "Well, there's only
Something
24,000 or
yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that," and he was like, "All right, 24,000."
But look at how close that number exceeded what
Yeah.
what his dream was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the spokesperson also said that people are also inquiring about how they can work for Turning Point. So it's there's over 37,000 inquiries to start
Amazing.
new chapters, but there's also people reaching out to say, "Can I get a job with Turning Point?"
Yeah.
And I think that's great because, especially for the youth, this is
It's weird how things happen to me, and I'm going to say this, and I hope it comes out right. It's like now that Trump won and after Trump was shot, it was like cool for the kids to like Trump.
yeah.
And it's almost like cool now for all the kids to get behind Charlie. Like
I don't care what reason they
Right?
have.
They're
for
coming
it.
together.
They're coming together.
But a lot of conservative kids are afraid to speak up at their college. I know my son was. He's like, he
Yes.
goes, "Mom, I know you're on the front line. I'm just going to stay back for the next 4 years and do my thing." I'm like, right away, I'm like, join the Republican club, start a Turning Point chapter. And he's like, I'm just
Let
going
him
to
go
do
at
my
his own
work, and I'm
speed.
going to keep
Yeah.
my because he's a minority in his school. I'm hoping that this changes that culture, that thinking in this, in the school culture.
Well, I think that's what was happening, right, across the country. But it can clearly
yes.
still needs to take deeper root and be broader, at least
absolutely
more broadly spread.
I would
but-
imagine they can even have Turning Point chapters for adults or
a youth group, or
yeah,
people
like
are calling the
different
warehouse
aged.
now and emailing
Yeah,
us.
I've had older women reach out
Yeah.
to me that were teachers and say, "How can I get involved?"
Yeah.
Well,
Start a
so-
chapter at your school if there isn't one. Teachers.
So right
She's-
now,
she's retired.
The,
A club.
the chapters are basically school, through the schools. I am going to really ask the reps that we have if we can get a meeting with their superiors so I can talk about doing something here, because we're a venue, so we're not technically a school, but there are adults, and if we can help in assisting the kids, bringing giving them this platform, this venue here. I mean, if you're a kid and you're on the side, we're a better place to come.
Yeah,
there is
together.
Yeah.
So we're going to try our best to see how we can, partner with them, be some kind of an affiliation with them. Either way, we let the reps come in, we let them talk to our guests when they're here. But I'm seeing the hunger right now from all these students.
Yeah, and not only that, the hunger for God.
Yeah,
the hunger for
it just gave me
God.
chills.
I mean, I watched videos online, the same all week that we all did, just scrolling
Obsessively.
after video, obsessively. And you don't know how many videos I've seen of people men putting on suits and saying, I've never been to church, but I'm going today, and I'm going to take Charlie's seat. Because Charlie can't go, I'm going to go. And these men never wore suits before in their life.
Yeah.
And he said, and the one guy
people
said,
of all ages and
They're wearing their
race,
crosses.
religions,
Churches were
Yep.
packed this weekend. I ended up going. We have church here on Thursdays, but I felt compelled to go to church on Sunday. I am a little bit upset. I'm not going to lie. They did not. It's a very Christian church. They did not talk about Charlie, which is another
Should've
topic.
went to my church.
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy because the pastor started talking about Abraham Lincoln. I'm thinking in my head, wow, what a good tee up, right? Like Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. I thought they were going to tee up, and I was waiting for that. Didn't happen. But I am going to call them.
I do want to say something though, since you said that your pastor didn't bring. If your pastor does not bring up Charlie Kirk and what happened, you need to find a new
Another
church.
church.
That's right.
Yeah.
You need to find a new church.
This was an older church for me that I revisited this Sunday. I'm sure the other church I was going to go to probably said it, but it doesn't matter. It's not. That wasn't political. You took someone who was out there spreading the gospel every time he was
And
in front
they
of
turned it
people.
political.
At the minimum, you should be praying for his family
Yes.
and
Yeah.
for our
Absolutely.
nation in regard to what happened specifically. If you don't want to be at the pulpit getting into what you view as political conversations in your sermon, and you just want to be constantly pointing to God, I can accept that. It may not be what I would choose or prefer from pastors, but you should have at the least done that.
But
you know what? It's infuriated
the
me
pastors
also.
they've needed to take a bold stand from the pulpit for the last 5 years.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they haven't.
And they
Hold
haven't.
on.
And I don't know why, especially now.
Oh,
and
the
it's-
church has
it's-
left the building. It's
they-
like they've been absent most
Yep.
of them.
And Charlie Kirk has videos out there himself that the government, law and order, politics, if you want to call it that, it's actually biblical. Like, it's not. It's all.
Government. The order of government is really ordained by God.
Yes.
It's a godly
Structure.
structure.
That's
Yes.
the right word.
It's just like a household, right?
Yep.
You need it.
You
And this
need
country
it.
was founded on that.
Well, this pissed me off because I said, has the Pope spoke on this? Let me look up if the Pope. He's an American Pope, right? Pope
Yeah.
Leo, he's an American
Yeah.
Pope?
Yeah.
We all feel a certain way about the Pope up here, and we'll save that for another episode.
And
But
in
you
that
would
episode, we'll
think
talk about how Netanyahu
that-
came out and spoke about him.
Yeah.
That's that. Again,
That's another
another
episode.
Another
episode.
episode.
I don't
Just
think
planting
we're
a
there
seed.
yet.
I think most importantly tonight, we want to honor Charlie, who he was, the legacy he's leaving behind, and despite what we see from some, which is really sick and disturbing, that people are out celebrating and dancing in the streets. That's a
getting
whole other
fired.
conversation. People are getting fired. I mean,
As they
I want to
should.
touch on this for a moment because everybody says, oh, the right is the party of free speech and protecting the amendments. And yes, we are. However, there is a big difference between me standing up as a nurse and saying, I disagree with this policy because, I disagree with what this hospital did because,
Yep.
versus me getting out on my platform and cheering when somebody's assassinated who I disagreed with,
Right.
An insurance broker, or who was that guy that the in New York City, he got killed from behind.
Oh,
he was the
United Healthcare
Healthcare,
Like,
yeah.
that would be like me. I think insurance companies are horrible.
Yeah.
And don't do right by the people. That would be like me as a nurse coming out and cheering
That he was
that he was
executed.
that he was executed
Yep.
For nothing.
I don't deserve to be to be trusted in a position of caring for people, all people in my position. So there is a big difference.
Well, freedom
Massive.
of speech is a fundamental right, but when you condone or endorse murder, that's hate speech.
Yes.
That there's a big difference
Yes.
between free speech and hate speech.
Yes.
And here's the thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, when it was a political assassination.
Right.
And if you have political assassinations in the United States of America, it will become Venezuela. Like I said,
Absolutely it
Saturday
will.
or
Yep.
Friday. It will become, we cannot have that.
Yes.
It is not something we do here.
That's right. And places like Newsday, which is a local paper around here, to put out a disgusting cartoon, or Walmart to allow a shirt that represented the killer, you know, the one who assassinated Charlie. You know, yeah, you have your free speech, but then so do we. And we're going to come out against you. We're going to protest against you. We're going to try to hit you where it hurts with your dollars.
Took it down, though. I did.
Walmart took it down,
I tried
but-
searching for it. Let's tell our audience what they did.
Let's cut
real quick.
14.
Walmart was selling a shirt, and you could search it by Kirk Shooter, and it was the same shirt that Tyler Robinson was wearing when he executed Charlie Kirk.
It's just disgusting.
Gross.
And
Nobody in good taste would do that.
No.
All right, so we're going to come back to the other stuff, right?
Yeah, we're going to have
We'll have to come back to Newsday.
Oh, that's it. That's next anyway.
All right,
but-
so we're going to come back to that. I'm going to, we have a little special guest here. We have a special thing. The America First Warehouse has found a way to help our audience secure the financial future. Everyone needs to have some gold and silver, but the barriers to entry have made it hard. Only 5% of Americans own any gold or silver. Please hear a special message from Todd Collins in our Studio C with an important message about wealth strategies. Todd's a good friend. He's up from the Carolinas, and he's got a great message to share with you right now.
Hi, my name is Todd Collins, and I have the privilege of being here in the America First Warehouse. Joe the Box brought me up here and my wife up here to help spread a message, something that they've been wanting to do for quite some time. It's all the way up. Yep. Sorry, mic check there. So he brought us up here because they were having the big rally or whatever you want to call it last Friday and Saturday. And because of the unfortunate incidents with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, they shifted gears. But we've had an opportunity for the last 5 days to spend time with this group of people talking about something that's very passionate to Joe and the America First Warehouse. They want to help every American find a way to have a better wealth strategy. They're very aware, as probably are you, that over the last 100 or so years, our dollar has greatly depreciated in value. In fact, back in 1913, when the Federal Reserve was established, you had to have an ounce, they had to have an ounce of gold in the reserve in order to print a dollar. Or they had to have gold to back every dollar, is probably better said. So then we had a gold-backed currency, and our dollar was very strong. But in 1971, Richard Nixon took America off of the gold standard, and that created something called a fiat dollar. And a fiat dollar means a dollar that has no physical backing. There's no value behind it other than the good faith of the United States and what they say it's worth. If you look at the history of gold and silver over the last 65 years, back in 1965, an ounce of silver could be purchased with $1. And in 1965, you could also buy a gallon of milk with $1. However, if you jump forward in 2018 because of inflation and other pressures on the economy, that same $1 would only buy you about a pint of milk. But at the same time, if you still had that 1 ounce of silver in 2018, you'd be able to buy several gallons of milk, about 3 of them. Then if we look at everything that happened with the stimulus checks during COVID and all the trillions of dollars that were printed, and we jump to today in 2025, that same $1 will only buy you a couple of coffee creamers. However, if you still had that 1 ounce of silver in 2025, you'd be able to buy several. So it's easy to see with that simple example that dollars have not held their value over the course of time, but the value of silver has gone greatly up in that same period of time. As a result of that, if you had to make a decision today, if you wanted to hold dollars for your financial future, or if you wanted to hold silver or gold for your financial future, which would you choose? Most people realize that the dollar is in fact worth less. And as a result of all that inflation and the printing of the trillions of dollars, the purchasing power of $1 in 2025 is about 3 cents of what it was back in 1913 when the Federal Reserve was established. All right, so we have that problem. How do I get gold and silver? If I want it, where do I buy it? Once I understand that it's got value, that's never gone away, in 6,000 years it's never gone to zero, now I have it, where do I store it? If I have it, how do I sell it? All these questions are barriers to entry that have kept people on the sidelines and unable to purchase gold and silver. As a result of that, only 5% of all Americans own any precious metals. Okay, that's a bit of a problem because precious metals, when the dollar goes to zero or when the currency changes to some other backing, hopefully gold-backed currency, if you don't have any gold and silver, you don't really have any wealth. It doesn't matter how many dollars you have. If the dollar goes to zero value, it's worth nothing. It's worth less. So what I've come here to help Joe the Box and the America First Warehouse do is promote an opportunity for every American to own some silver and gold. Their passion here is helping you guys have solutions to the problems that you have, real tangible assets. Having them where you can buy
exactly
fractionally. That's another big problem.
He had
If
3
you're
minutes,
buying
Marshall.
gold and silver right
Cut him
now,
off.
you have to buy whole ounces
care.
everywhere else. And you may not have $4,000 for an ounce of gold. But with the company that we're affiliated with now, you can get a membership that allows you to buy fractional gold and silver. For as little as $1 a day, you can purchase silver and gold and have those in your portfolio. And as your time goes by, the silver and gold will go up and down in value as the silver and gold goes up and down in the market.
Well, guys, this is
And
the
if
only
you've
money we
got
have
some
coming
silver
right
and
now,
gold and the
so-
dollars crash, you are
But,
then in a
3 minutes
position
is
where you
enough.
have financial wealth. So what we'd like you guys to do is just go ahead and go to
No one's listening to me.
TAFWsoundmoney.com and click on the link that's there, watch a video, and you'll be able to enroll with my team and get all your questions answered. Thank you so much for your time.
Welcome back to the Patriots podcast, guys. Before we cut to that little commercial, we were talking about all the horrible people that have come out and demoralized Charlie's death, and even worse. But I do believe that Charlie is a martyr, and I think he should be recognized as a saint at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a petition for that.
Is there?
I think Cornicelli sent it to me. I have it.
Oh. Okay.
We'll try
I
to share it
saw
on the
that.
Patriots if
Yep.
we can sign that. Yes, he met the requirements or something.
He
There's a
did
petition.
meet the
Oh, yeah.
requirements.
I'll look for that.
Definitely.
I looked it up last night.
He's certainly a martyr. There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
doubt about that.
But I do love that Trump is giving him the Presidential Medal
Beautiful.
of Freedom Award.
And someone said making September 10th Charlie Kirk Day, which I love that too. So to me, it'll always be Charlie Kirk Day on that day.
I think one of the things that, like for me personally, and I think for all of us, I don't know. I don't want to speak for all of us, but I feel like we have to take something really big away from all of this and from him and his life. And while people want to assert that he was a racist and all of these other things, anybody who
Fascist.
a fascist, that he was, only, called out certain sects of people, it's not true. It's
not true.
And if
Propaganda.
anybody would, I think two things. One, this is a very clear example of how we are so divided by design. Our algorithms, these things, put them down or start searching, which I do. Start searching the opposite view that you have.
Right.
People that you know maybe that are reasonable people, decent human beings, and have completely different opinions than you and are dug in.
They're far
figure
and
out
few
why.
between in the
I don't talk to those
Democratic
people
Party.
anymore.
Figure out why, because it's by design, guys, and they're seeing snippets and clips, and that stuff keeps showing up in their feed. More things that support that thought process, that belief process, and it's a lot of it's not true.
Not
it's
true.
little snippets, but we get that too.
Yep.
And so I think it always brings me back to. Guys, we've got
Algorithm.
to
It's the
find
algorithm
yes, know
that
the
you're being
demons we're
fed.
fighting, what humanity is fighting, and find the common ground and the truth, which is not going to be fed through this, only seeing your point of view.
You know what?
And Charlie was so good at that. And this is what I like the most important thing for me to say tonight, personally. Charlie was so good at that when you really listen to him. Did he have some moments that weren't very godly? Yeah, I've watched
We all
some.
do. He was
We
human.
all do. He was a human being.
Yeah.
But if you watch him in his entirety, it's like taking out a verse in the Bible and making a whole doctrine out of it, your own Bible out of it. You can't do it. You have to read it in its entirety and understand who the Lord God is. You have to look at Charlie's body of work as a whole and understand who Charlie was and what he was doing. And what he was so good at doing was listening and speaking to a person, no matter where they were at, speaking biblical truths, usually from a place of compassion, kindness, empathy, and, or sympathy. He hated empathy. Sympathy and love. Because you have to love someone to tell them the truth.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so I want to implore and urge all of us to do the same, to be slower to anger and to reach across the aisle to people who are different than us, try to understand where they're coming from, extend an olive branch and have the hard conversations and be willing to listen. And then speak truth.
And he did exactly what you said, though. Somebody would come up to the podium, up to the mic at these debates, and they would say, Charlie, you said, and he would say, okay, but what's the context of the whole entire thing that I said? He used to tell those students, don't just pull an excerpt of something you were reading online. What was the whole context of what I was saying? And to your point, I forgot who I was watching, somebody was speaking about Charlie. It might have been yesterday on his podcast, the podcast that J.D. Vance did for him. And he talked about, maybe to J.D. Vance, how when he was debating Tim Walz, he said after an hour and a half of debating with him, he started to like him a little bit. And they were looking at Charlie like, what are you how could you like your opponent that much? And he goes, his point was, we're not as different as we seem.
Right.
And if you start talking to the other side, even if it's your political opponent, or enemy, there's a lot of threads of humanity.
To your point, Donna, about opening up a dialogue with the other side, you can go on Forster's website. I want to say it's ForstersOutriders.com. I'll look it up because I would like
said it
people
on
to,
his thing before.
Yeah, he always encouraged. There's a whole thing on there where he encourages people to ask somebody from. If I'm a
Different than
Republican,
they.
if you're a Democrat, let's go have a cup of coffee and chat.
Love
And
that.
that was one of his big things. Let's go have a cup of coffee and chat.
But you have to be prepared to listen. You can't come at it with an aggressive way.
What happened at our last rally before the election last year?
Oh my gosh.
I left angry.
Yeah.
I left my own rally because the Teresa of 2020, where I was angry and wanted to scream and fight and go crazy to the left, I realized is not fruitful. What it was just perpetuating the hatred. So over the last few years, I've changed my model at rallies, and when there's opposition, I go up to them very kindly, very godly, and I try to strike up a conversation. And the Patriots that we were with, unfortunately, and I'll say Angie, who was with me, and Ernie and James, who were here tonight, supported me and stayed with me, while the rest of the Patriots were screaming vulgarities at these opposition. And I lost my mind because what good is that going to do? Now we look like the crazy MAGA racist people. And I start with them and say, whoa, 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 before you call me racist and before you scream at me about Trump, you know nothing about me. If it's a female, I'll start. You're a female, I'm a female. You're a mom, I'm a mom. Do you believe in God? Yeah, I believe in God. Okay, all right. So right away, you find
Common ground.
some common ground. Did we not leave praying and hugging with some of these people?
There it is.
And that's what you need to do.
Yep.
That's what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Be like Charlie.
Be like Charlie.
Charlie,
and Jesus.
To paraphrase him, and I'll come as close as I can. He used to say that when the conversation ends, that's what
violence begins.
Violence begins.
When discourse ends,
that's right.
Violence begins.
You have to continually have the conversation. You just have to. We have to.
Yeah.
Or we're going to have half of a country one way and half of a country another way, and it's just chaos. We can't live in chaos.
No, we can't.
do it.
No, we can't. And I think our nation owes a great debt of gratitude to Charlie. But I know we only have a little bit of time left. I do want to touch on things that we've got going on this weekend. We have a call to action.
We do.
This Saturday, September 20th at 10 a.m. Many of you on Long Island, probably have seen this, and I'm sure you're just as outraged as we are. Pull-up cut.
16 and 17.
16 and 17. Newsday went too far, and they absolutely did.
Yeah, this came to me on Sunday morning. I was at church. I said, guys, as soon as I leave church, let's talk about this. And I just had a burning desire in the activist in me to go there. For all of you out there telling me that Newsday is not there on the weekends, I don't give a shit. They're the news. They'll know that we'll be out there. Nobody wants an angry mob outside of their facility. We've had enough. Definitely
So
cancel
for
your
our
subscriptions.
radio listeners, why don't we say what they did because
Go
they
ahead, I'll
can't
let you.
see what.
Sorry, I get fired
So
up.
Newsday put out a cartoon, I guess.
Disgusting
One of
bio
those
cartoon.
little cartoonist things, and it's basically Charlie's
Empty chair.
empty chair under a tent that it's the Charlie Kirk Prove Me Wrong, and it's an empty chair with a blood spatter behind him, which is disgusting.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Disgusting. I do want to say that the owner of Newsday is Pat Dolan. So if anyone wants to
Big
send
surprise.
him an email, I encourage.
Cancel your subscriptions. Everybody I know is canceling.
Yep.
There's
Altice too. I think Altice,
No,
does Altice own them or no?
Altice does not. I believe they don't. They might own a little part of it, but
Okay.
Yeah.
But
And-
Pat Dolan, the Dolan family, specifically Pat Dolan, bought a majority of Newsday
and I want to say
back.
this: just because they issued a statement of apology, screw you. You're just sorry that you did. That so many people are
caught.
upset
Yeah,
about it.
the
You're not
backlash.
sorry that you
Regret
did
the
it.
backlash.
You're
Yeah.
sorry
Regret
that you're getting the backlash.
That's
So
exactly
we're
it.
coming anyway. I love a rally. I love to fight and protest with my Patriots, and we're very peaceful when we do it.
It
We'll
wouldn't be
probably
the-
be playing music and on bullhorns.
And
That's the
that's
extent
the
of
point.
it.
You could reach across the aisle with certain
I put-
people. These kinds of people are not the kind
They're
of
not.
people that you could reach across the aisle.
And
with.
here's the thing: I purposely worded this rally flyer that everybody is invited to step up, because even if you're on the left and you're on Long Island, that's gross. That's gross. And you need to stand with us in solidarity to let them know that.
So
Fake
that's
news
this
for 5 years.
Saturday at 10 o'clock. It's going to be at their headquarters, which is 6 Corporate Center Drive in Melville, New York.
We will be there.
And then Sunday,
Yes. Sunday, we are having a memorial here.
well, more importantly, I think State Farm Stadium is having a
Oh,
big
right. Go ahead.
memorial
Start with that. Yes, sorry.
for
Very
Charlie Kirk
self-serving.
in Arizona. I believe the stadium holds 60,000 people, and I bet every single seat is filled in that
there's
stadium.
gonna, I bet
the
there's gonna be
parking
people
lots-
outside. There's
yeah,
gonna be people
oh,
lining
yeah.
up down the street.
This
be
is going to
overflow.
have to be probably the biggest gathering. I can't imagine
What I can't
a
wait
larger
to see
gathering.
is the amount of young adults and
Yes.
children that are going to be out there honoring somebody who they respected. We're answering the call again. We're getting a lot of questions. Are you guys going to open up for Charlie's services? That'll be televised. It feels weird to even say that. We are. We realized on Friday night how important it was. We're hearing all the feedback for Patriots to be together with heavy hearts here together in this building. And we will do the same thing on Sunday. We have a Turning Point chapter lead from high school coming to sing the national anthem, and another student coming who's a chapter lead for Turning Point. They are devastated. So we encourage all the kids, all the youth to please come down here. We'd love to have you and bittersweetly watch this together on Sunday. And very quick, if you could just bring up KDJ's graphic, our good friend there, check it out every morning, 9 to 11 during the week. 103.9 radio. We love you, Kevin. Thank you.
He's a great guy.
He did a great job Friday night.
Did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
He did.
And he got
Everybody
thrown
did.
right into it.
Everybody did. I want to say this, if it's okay.
Yeah, of course.
I have a mad respect for everybody here at the warehouse for, on such quick notice, instead of just dropping everything and disappointing hundreds of people, people who traveled from across the country and other states to be here for a different event.
Thank you.
To still honor the fact that people were seeking to gather and also do such a beautiful job at running a program and create
you.
a program
It was
to
hard.
honor
Yeah,
Charlie.
it started Thursday night.
great.
I didn't
know.
sleep, but
we were like sideline
Beautiful.
witnesses to tease.
I was, yeah, but it was worth
madness,
every
but
second of it to honor him and to be able to bring that to the people here.
It was, and it was a beautiful night. And so, if you are around and you're able to be together this Sunday here, you won't regret coming.
No, it'll be powerful. God's in this building.
Yes,
Yep.
he is.
Okay. Heavenly Father, in a time when anger and division seem to prevail, we thank you for the reminder that true strength is found in listening, understanding, and speaking your biblical truths in love. Even Jesus showed righteous anger, but never toward the broken or hurting. Instead, he called out to those in positions of power who oppressed and misled. Lord, you call us to speak truth and pursue righteousness, but always with that same spirit that points others to you and you alone. We confess that it's hard when we face opposition, when people seek to tear down what is good and holy in this world. Yet your word reminds us that anger and wrath are not ours to hold. You ask us instead to seek justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with you. We thank you for the witness of those who have gone before us, those who listened with compassion, stood with courage, and lived with unwavering faith. Like Charlie, may their example stir us to do the same. And Father, just as a seed falls to the ground to produce new fruit, raise up not only thousands, but millions who will boldly live out their faith, defend truth, and extend their love in a hurting world. As we leave this conversation tonight, God, and thank you for it, keep us mindful that when discourse ends, violence begins. Let us be a people who do not yield to anger, but remain steadfast in dialogue, prayer, and grace, welcoming others as friends when they turn toward you, and continuing to pray for them when they do not. We trust your sovereign will, Lord. Strengthen our faith, protect our families, preserve the freedom to honor and serve you, and be with Charlie Kirk's family and all those who knew him and loved him intimately. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
That was beautiful.
And as always,
keep your
faith
faith
strong,
strong,
your family close, and your freedom alive. This is the turning point.
Yes, it is.
This is the turning point.
We are
Love
Charlie.
you. Be Charlie.
Charlie.
I am Charlie.
I am Charlie.
I am Charlie.
Now I'm getting emotional.
Worries of this world just fade away.